Starting a business in Florida means taking an idea and building it into a legally recognized, compliant entity that the state actually respects. Registering your business creates a distinct legal person. This locks into place a barrier between your company's debts and your own personal assets. To secure that protection, you have to navigate three distinct layers of bureaucracy: the Florida statutes that govern corporate law, the IRS at the federal level, and the Florida Department of Revenue for state taxes. The challenge is making sure your state-level registration perfectly aligns with an optimized federal tax strategy. If these systems fall out of sync, you risk compliance traps that can shut you down. Getting this procedural architecture right means your business operates with high tax efficiency. Getting it wrong leads to steep fines and administrative shutdowns.
This video contains affiliate links. I have a relationship with the brands in this video and earn a referral fee when you shop through the links in the description below. Before we dive into the exact steps of registering your business in Florida, let's talk about your foundation. You absolutely cannot build a successful brand or protect your personal assets without a properly structured legal entity. Most people try to launch in the Sunshine State as a sole proprietor or cut corners on their Sunbiz state filings. And that is exactly why they face massive personal liabilities or get their applications rejected. Whether you decide on an LLC, a C-Corp, or an S-Corp, your business must be a legitimate, separate legal entity in the eyes of the state. That's where Busy comes in. Busy is the absolute best formation service out there, handling your entire Florida business setup for just $0 plus state fees. They take care of all the heavy lifting for you, filing your articles of organization or incorporation, providing your legally required Florida registered agent, securing your EIN, and setting up your ongoing compliance alerts. This is non-negotiable if you want to stay compliant and protect your wealth. I've linked my full, in-depth review of Busy in the description so you can see exactly why I recommend them. Make sure to use my link down below to get your Florida business set up right through Busy today, which will also unlock exclusive discounts and perks.
Let's walk through how to build it correctly. Step 1 is deciding on your legal structure. Under Florida statutes Chapter 605 and 607, this choice permanently sets your rules for governance and your exposure to taxes. This diagram compares the primary options. Looking first at the limited liability company, or LLC, you get operational flexibility. There are no formal board of directors required, and profits flow straight through the entity down to the owner's personal tax returns. In contrast, the C-Corporation column shows a much more rigid structure. You have mandatory boards and shareholder meetings, but you gain the ability to issue multiple classes of stock, which is essential if you plan to take on venture capital. But a C-Corp comes with a major financial drawback: double taxation. The business pays taxes on its profits at the corporate level, and then shareholders pay taxes a second time when those profits are distributed as dividends. To bypass double taxation, you can use an S-Corporation. An S-Corp isn't a separate business entity type filed with Florida. It's an overlay, a federal tax designation applied to your existing LLC or C-Corp, forcing the IRS to treat it as a pass-through entity. The IRS requires strict parameters to grant S-Corp status. You can have a maximum of 100 shareholders, they must be U.S. citizens or residents, and you are restricted to a single class of stock. The structure you select dictates exactly how you operate day to day and exactly how much you owe the government. Before you can actually file your formation documents, Florida law requires you to appoint a registered agent. This person or company acts as your official legal liaison with the state. The agent must have a physical street address inside Florida. The state strictly prohibits using a P.O. box or a virtual office for this requirement. That physical address is required because the agent must be present during standard business hours to accept service of process. Service of process is the formal, hand-delivered receipt of legal lawsuits and official government notices. With your agent secured, you move to the execution phase using this interface, the Florida Sunbiz electronic filing portal. Here, you will submit your articles of organization for an LLC or your articles of incorporation for a C-Corp. The upfront state costs are non-refundable. Forming an LLC requires a $100 filing fee, plus a $25 registered agent designation fee, totaling $125. A standard profit corporation costs $70 total. Completing this Sunbiz filing and appointing your agent generates the legal birth certificate for your business and plants its permanent physical anchor in Florida. Once the state recognizes your business, you immediately need to request an Employer Identification Number, or EIN, from the IRS. You cannot open a business bank account or process payroll without it. If you plan to use the S-Corp tax designation, you have a short window. You must submit IRS Form 2553 within exactly 75 days of your Florida formation date to activate that status for your first tax year. At the state level, you file the Florida Business Tax Application, known as Form DR1, to register for obligations like the 6% sales tax and the reemployment tax if you have staff. Now, let's look at why that S-Corp election is so important. By default, standard LLC owners face a 15.3% self-employment tax. As this diagram shows, if you net $100,000, that entire amount pours into a single bucket subject to that 15.3% tax. The S-Corp strategy changes the math. You divide your income into two streams. You pay yourself a reasonable W-2 salary, say $60,000, which is subject to employment taxes. The remaining $40,000 falls into a business distribution bucket, which is completely free from that 15.3% tax. By protecting that $40,000 distribution, the specific split yields $6,120 in immediate tax savings for the year. Florida already has zero personal income tax. Hitting your IRS deadlines to execute this federal S-Corp split allows you to maximize that favorable environment. Looking at this comparison, you see the trade-offs. The standard LLC offers high agility, but leaves net income vulnerable to self-employment taxes. The C-Corp is the choice for scaling, but carries the heavy penalty of double taxation. For most owner-operators, the LLC with an S-Corp election is the optimal sweet spot. It blends LLC liability protection with highly efficient S-Corp tax math. However, running an S-Corp requires maintaining formal payroll processing and documenting that your salary to distribution balance is legally reasonable. Regardless of your structure, you face an ongoing compliance trap in Florida. Every single year, you must file an annual report by May 1st. The state is unforgiving with this deadline. Missing May 1st triggers an immediate $400 late fee and opens your business to the severe threat of administrative dissolution. Administrative dissolution means the state forcefully revokes your company's legal right to exist. Your corporate shield collapses and you lose your personal liability protection instantly. Forming the entity on Sunbiz is just the first step. Operating a compliant Florida business requires active, ongoing management to keep your protections firmly in place.